Hey guys, welcome back. Jesus loves you. So, I survived the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show. I didn't get a demon. Or maybe I did. Maybe I have to ask my super hyper charismatic friends, can you get a demon from watching Bad Bunny? Of course you can. What about watching Kid Rock on the other Super Bowl halftime show on TPSU? Oh no, of course you can't get a demon from Kid Rock. He voted for Trump. He's on God's side. Anyway, I watched the halftime show and everything was fine. I understand that there is satanic symbolism in all the halftime shows, although I didn't see any in this one, but might have just missed it. Makes sense because the world is mainly satanic. Don't know about Bad Bunny in particular, but I'll tell you what, I support him politically. I support his right to say what he said, criticizing ICE and criticizing Trump, because that's the First Amendment, and that's what Americans were supposed to stand for, and that's what the right used to stand for, not anymore. Now they're all for shutting down people's speech. Now they've become the snowflakes. Interesting. So Bad Bunny's up there. Don't know his music. Don't necessarily like his music. I like reggaeton music. I just don't know him. But I'm all about him, right? And I am not about Kid Rock. So I'm glad he played, and I'm glad the whole thing was in Spanish. I didn't understand it. That's okay. Yeah, I would have much rather Karol G played. I did see my girl Cardi B on there. I wish she would have rapped on there with him, because I would like to hear the I Like It Like That song. That's probably my only Bad Bunny song I really like or know. And I liked the Lady Gaga scene. That was cool. So yeah, I respect Bad Bunny as an artist. He's the #1 Spotify selling artist, so it makes sense he would play there, huh? It's the Super Bowl, the biggest show of the year in the world. Yes, of course. I wish he would have spoken out against ICE there. I was hoping he would do that. Apparently, Green Day said something against ICE, so that was cool. And I love and respect Puerto Rico, which is in America, by the way. Bad Bunny, the American, played the American halftime show. Yeah, right-wingers don't seem to understand this concept, that Puerto Rico is an American, therefore Bad Bunny is an American. But the right wing has kicked us back to the 1850s or even before, where you've got Trump up there saying nobody could understand it. Nobody could understand it, except all of the however thousands of Americans that speak Spanish. You dumbass. So that right there tells you where he's at and who he is. They say he's not a white supremacist, and we're not trying to make America white again like you guys say. What does he mean by that then? What does that mean? Nobody could understand what he's saying. What does he mean nobody? He's talking about white people. He's saying the white people, us who own this country, who made the country. There were no blacks, there were no brown. Nope, just all white people. We don't want to make America white again, but nobody could understand what he was saying. Oh, so you're saying that all the Spanish-speaking people in the world are nobodies? That's exactly what you're saying. We know who you are. You guys are overplaying your hand, and the world is understanding that you're racist. Horrible people, really. I mean, you may not be a horrible person, but your views are horrible. I'll tell you that much. And you're using Jesus for it. It's disgusting. So think about that. Nobody could understand what he was saying. I think that flew over a lot of people's heads, but if you just meditate on that for a second, who would say that? What do you mean by that? Nobody understood. Because you realize that a lot of people did understand, and they were all Spanish-speaking people. So you're saying that either they're nobody, they don't matter, only the white-ass motherfuckers who don't understand Spanish matter. So again, I'm all for it. Bad Bunny, I'm down. Okay? I love Puerto Rico. Been there, loved it, want to move there. It's a great place. A lot of my best friends growing up were Puerto Rican. I grew up in New York City. You know, that trip from Puerto Rico to New York City, it's filled with people. People do that all the time, right? And if I could, I wish I would. So, you know, I saw the bodega up in there. I saw the taco stand. I saw the shaved ice stands, which I recognize from Puerto Rico and from New York City. In the Bronx, in East Harlem, Spanish Harlem, in Brooklyn, right? I grew up multicultural. I love all cultures. This is the problem. And if you look at Bad Bunny's set, he actually represented a lot of different cultures, including America. Okay? There was all this pro-American, patriotic stuff that he was doing. He's not anti-American like these dumb, brain-rotted right people think, these magatards think. The guy has a football that says, God bless America. Together we're better as Americans. He said, God bless America like 5 times. He's got the American flag there. Okay. There's a scene where he's holding the Puerto Rican flag, which I know they're going to get triggered by, just like they get triggered by all the protesters who are protesting ICE when they have Mexican flags. And they'll say, go back to Mexico. Why? Because they're proud of where they're from, you dumbass. You're proud of where you're from, are you not? Oh, my German heritage, like Trump says, my German blood. Go back to Germany then, you, right? Are you not allowed to live in a country and also be proud of where you're from? Are you not allowed to be happy where you live and fly your flag's country? That's what this whole country is based on. This country is based on a bunch of people from other countries coming to this country and still loving where they love. And also loving where they came from, rather. Also loving where they live. There's both. Yeah, and that's what Bad Bunny represented. Bad Bunny represented what America is actually about. Loving your culture, which he showed all throughout the show, including the music, including the language, including the food, including the people and the dance, the wedding, all of that stuff. And you had Lady Gaga there dancing as best as she could to the bachata or the reggaeton music that he was playing, right? But also loving where you live. And he showed that. He said it a bunch of times. God bless America. So he's holding a Puerto Rican flag because that's where he's from. He's proud of Puerto Rico. Good. That's okay, right? I grew up in New York seeing all the Puerto Rican flags all the time. And you know, oh, that person's Puerto Rican. Awesome. Oh, there's a Guyanese flag. I know all the colors of all these different flags. There's a Trinidadian flag. Cool. That's awesome. This is what America used to be about. And then there's a procession of flags. And what do you know? What's the first flag that's in the procession? Was it Puerto Rico because he hates America? Wrong. No, it was America. There was an American flag first, and then a Puerto Rican flag second, and then a bunch of other Latin countries afterwards. He's showing he loves America, he loves Puerto Rico, and he's representing his people, the Latin people. Yeah, he didn't shout out every country. It would basically be impossible, right? But he's shouting out his heritage, his people, his ethnicity. He shouted out Canada too. I didn't know there was a lot of Latino people in Canada, but maybe he was just shouting them out. I don't know. It was cool. How could you get upset about that? He didn't wear a dress. Okay? Like, and even if he did, that's okay. That's his freedom. He's allowed to do that. But the church has tried to turn us into a bunch of sniveling babies. A bunch of sniveling snowflakes who want safe spaces and want to shut down everybody's speech. Right? Just like the American Olympian athletes who came out and said, you know, I don't represent everything that America is doing just because I wear this flag, because it's a weird time and there's a lot going on. Pam Bondi or whoever it was, Trump, you know, rage tweets about it. Take away their citizenship. They shouldn't be Americans. They shouldn't be representing America. If they have any criticism of our, you know, ruining of the country. We're allowed to ruin the country. And if you have any opinion about it, other than just blind obedience and subservience, we're going to say you don't have the right to speak and you don't have the right to represent us. Welcome to the takeover. They're doing a good job. But the world is waking up and the world ain't having it. Okay, most of the world is like looking at the U.S. right now and what Trump is doing and the magatards and the Christians, by the way, who are supporting this crap, and all the Christian Zionists who couldn't care about anybody except one other country, their own and Israel together, right? Doesn't care about any kind of war crimes or anything. The whole world is looking at you like, what is wrong with you? Or do you live in the dark ages? Why would you support this? And you're using the Bible? And a lot of these people know the Bible and they actually know Jesus. Even if they're not saved or Christian yet, they know about Jesus and they know what Jesus stood for. And they could see and understand very clearly it wasn't this, right? Y'all MAGA Christians are way too stuck in the Old Testament. You guys love that Old Testament, right? The tithing, the priesthood, the killing innocent people, spreading your religion by the sword. You know, the judgment, the judgment of God coming down on people. You love that stuff, don't you? But you seem to miss like the Jesus in the New Testament part, because that's too hippy dippy, isn't it? Yeah. But then you try to commandeer Jesus and put him into the old covenant, even though he did come in the old covenant, I get that, but he started the new covenant, right? And he showed us, love your neighbor, pray for your enemy, turn the other cheek, put away the sword, live by the sword, die by the sword. Had no money, barefoot, sandals, walking around, had no place to lay his head, meaning he was homeless, just giving constantly to everybody, gave free food, did no program, the worthy poor, you have to prove that you're, not lazy or I'm not going to give you food. Questioned the establishment, went into a place of worship, a church, and flipped the tables over and made a whip of cords and kicked out the people who were charging money and doing all kinds of wickedness in his father's house, right? Basically rejected organized religion and preached it by the water and in the woods and out in the outskirts, right, in nature. And you guys want to say that he wasn't a communist, he wasn't a socialist, he wasn't a leftist, he wasn't a hippie. Well, what the heck was he then? I'm not saying he was any of those things, but he sure as hell wasn't whatever the hell you're trying to make him. This war-hungry, war-loving, bloodthirsty, supporting government takeover. No, that's the Antichrist. That's Satan. That's what you're doing. That's what you're supporting, but you're putting Jesus' face over it. Right, we get you. We see you. And so does the whole world, and the whole world is waking up. That's why I believe in the tribulation, which I believe is coming soon at the time of Jacob's trouble. There will be a massive wake-up. It's happening already. That's a wonderful thing. I even heard Live by Faith Ministries say yesterday that he's finding himself less and less agreeing with the right and more agreeing with the left. Here we are, brother. That's my story. If you look at the left, there's more Christian values on the left. I'm not talking about left and right. I know we have to stay in the middle. That's fine. But honestly speaking, the right wing is just satanic in the name of Jesus. It's disgustingly horrible. It's horrible. There's nothing good about it. Nothing. And if you look at the left side, at least they love freedom. And even if you think that their freedom is immoral, I can agree that it's immoral because I'm a Christian and I believe what the Bible says about morality. Right? Abortion, LGBT, I get it. It's immoral in the Christian's eyes. That's fine. But over and above that, you have to support freedom. They have the right to do what they want to do. Nowhere in the New Testament does Jesus say, hey, you better just use the government's boot to just shove down the throat of all the LGBT and make them not, do what they want to do. Don't let them be sinful. Your job as a Christian is to stop the sinful world from being sinful. You have to resist sin with the government. That is not Christian in any shape or form, in no world, in no view. It's something they've created. And Satan uses that, right? The evil system is always going to use the government, always going to use religion and Jesus, unfortunately. But many people are waking up. And mad props to Bad Bunny. Hopefully he gets saved. Hopefully Cardi B gets saved. I think she says she is saved. I mean, she's a Christian. She made that video about that the record companies were demonic and they were summoning demons or something like that. That was pretty cool. Of course, I understand that the content of Cardi B's music is not the best. I'm not saying it's like a Christian thing. It's just something I like. I like Cardi B. She's one of the best female rappers recently, right? If you listen to her song Red Bars, I mean, if you're a hip-hop fan, you can't really debate or argue that Red Bars is not a great song. So yeah, this used to be what America... Listen to this. You guys hear that? Right? It's a Mexican family singing their culture's music. I don't know if it sounds like a mariachi band, maybe. So cool. Everybody is peaceful. Everything's fine. Yeah, there's going to be issues everywhere. But who's starting the issues? Are you starting the issue because you love your race and you don't like them? Not saying that doesn't happen in the opposite direction. It can. But we are supposed to be above that. So America was all about that, right? The Italians came, the Germans came, the Irish came, etc., right? I'm sure they flew their flags back then. And they kept some of their cultures. In fact, the older generations wanted to more so, and each generation seems to get more Americanized. We get that. This is common knowledge. It's not. Where is this coming from? This is from this right-wing hateful system that's trying to make you hate other cultures. This is not Christian, again, in any way, shape, or form. Okay, I used to live in Brooklyn in Flatbush, which is a very African-American black area. Right? I was taught to fear black people, essentially. right? Especially in the city, young men, people hanging on the corner. I get it. Whatever. But there were certain ideas that were pumped into me as a kid. Here I am living in Brooklyn, and guess what? No problems. Interesting. It's like, huh. Now, does that mean I'm going to go like up to a group of people and, you know, like they do in the Top Notch Idiot movies, videos? Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm, you know, I wasn't in any, whatever, in their field. I'm not saying if you're stupid, something won't happen. I have a friend, whatever, I'll skip that story. So,